welcome back to another edition of the Spiral Scouts B.R.A.T training, Basic Registered Adult Training. Today I want to talk about how much it costs and the registration. So let's take a look at this page right here. This is going to be the bulk of what we're talking about. For the adults, every single adult pays a process fee. This pays for your initial background check, youth protection training, and they also pay an adult registration fee. This is for every adult. When you renew, you will just pay the adult registration fee. The background check only has to be redone every 3 years. And as you can see down in the bottom right, the renewal for the background checks is currently $11. For the charters, a new charter for a circle is $55 and for a hearth is $35. If you look over to the right on the upper hand side, charter renewals are cheaper. A circle renewal is $40 and a hearth renewal is $25. For our scouts, every registration is $15. It doesn't matter what their program level is, Raindrop, Firefly, Pathfinder, Spiral Scout, it's $15. And then the welcome kit, which has your neck cords, numbers, and things like that in it, or I believe it has the numbers in it, check the shop to be sure, are $16 per person. And as you can see from my notes here, those are optional, though encouraged. It gives you everything you need to make your initial neck cords to go with your uniform, which you can either make or buy. And all registrations are renewed yearly. So I would keep track of the date that you charter because that will also be your renewal date. If you have any questions, of course, reach out to hq@spiralscouts.org. Membership is not in charge of renewal. That is admin. You can message me, but I will not have all the information you need for that. You fill out the online registration form for adults or the paper registration form for scouts. You pay the annual registrations through the shop, and the charters have to be renewed before the renewal date. And there's also a charter renewal form. If these items are not received, the charter will be put on probation, and if not done within 2 months, charters will be dechartered. If there's any reason or problem you're having, maybe you can't recharter right away, reach out to HQ or even myself. I'll talk to the board on your behalf if that's what we need to do. We're pretty lenient about this at this point with as young as our organization is. And we may be able to provide some extensions or some assistance on a case-to-case basis. I don't want to guarantee that because it will very much be on a case-to-case basis. So as your anniversary date approaches, you're going to be wanting to get together all this paperwork. And I showed you on the page before what those costs currently look like. Well, I guess technically you only have to fill out the charter renewal form if there's been any changes or if members have left your group. That document should be available in general under the Spiral Scouts team once you are in the proper team and not the orientation team. If you're going through the training, it's likely that you are not in that team yet. You're still in my orientation team. But renewals are very, very simple. Registration. Keep all confirmations of what you've paid and records of that sort for your charter. Technology is a fickle mistress. Sometimes things happen. And I would much rather you be prepared and to have all of those documents. If you find that any changes occur throughout your year, the information change form should be submitted to admin@spiralscouts.org. I would also copy it to hq@spiralscouts.org. If it's just a member leaving, an email will suffice, but for leadership, contact, or location change, that form has to be used. And if you're having trouble finding that form, reach out to HQ as well. We will help you find anything you need and make sure that help gets sorted for you. A medical form must be filled out for every registered member, and these should be kept in a binder that's present in all meetings and field trips. This document is also available in the resources in the Spiral Scouts team under General and Files. More details on this can be found in the Leader Handbook if you're looking for more information, which is also in that General and Files section of your Spiral Scouts team once you get there. And if you need copies of those policies beforehand, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to meet with you and go over anything you have questions about. The reason that we have these documents behind the wall of already being chartered is to ensure that we are not handing out proprietary information. I also want to talk a little bit about initial organizational meeting. If you're a hearth, this is easy. You know what you and your family want to do. You can ask your kid, you can make decisions based on things that you see your kid needing to learn. It's just you and your family. But a circle takes a bit more organization because you're dealing with more families, differing ideas, how you're going to manage your group, because we leave this very open to you. We have some rules, but every charter is different. Some are going to have leaders by age group, and it's going to look kind of more like a Cub Scout pack. Others are going to have all their kids meet together and do the badges. This is going to greatly vary. We don't put a lot of structure on this because we want it to meet your needs as an organization. You may be partnering with a church. You may not be partnering with a church. There are so many variables. We don't want this to become like other scouting organizations where you have to fit this one particular mold. There should be a PowerPoint presentation available in the PC group. If you're having trouble find it, let me know. And an FAQ sheet that will come in handy as you will be asked lots of questions. You can print out the fee schedule from this PowerPoint, though it'll also be in the Proto-Charter PowerPoint, because fees are often one of the most common questions. And you're going to need to decide what will work best for your charter for funding. Maybe each family is going to contribute a small amount toward the chartering fees, or maybe you're going to pay the initial fees for the charter yourself. Maybe you're going to run a fundraiser to charter and to pay for registrations fees. What are families going to be doing to help you meet the ongoing expenses for supplies, field trips, and badges? Or is all of this going to come from some sort of dues that you pay each week or even annually? Or are you going to get a sponsor that's going to help you pay for all these things? All of these different options are available because, again, we want this to meet your needs as a circle. We would also additionally suggest thinking about where your finances will be held. Charters with bank accounts are required to have more than one registered adult listed in the account to ensure appropriate uses and accountability of the funds. This is also a good time to gather the scouts and find out what kind of badges they would want to do or learn. And we always recommend starting with the Gold Club Award as it focuses on starting a charter. And you're also going to talk about where you're going to meet. If you have a sponsor, they may have a location. If you don't have a sponsor, maybe you're meeting at somebody's house or there's a local venue that will allow you to meet there. And you're also going to want to encourage as many parents as possible to register as volunteers. There is an adult to scout ratio that has to be met at all times, though we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the training. When are you going to meet? Are you going to meet weekly, monthly? Are you going to meet bi-weekly? Every 3 weeks? What is going to work for your charter and your families? We talked a little bit about where you're going to meet, but how long are these meetings going to be? Is the space that you have big enough to accommodate your charter? I know charters that meet entirely outside all year, and charters that meet entirely inside all year. So some ideas for meeting times and locations are a member's home, a local church, a meeting room at a library, if your library allows that, a local park in nice weather, a community center, a local school gym, or a space provided by a local business. Are you going to spend most of your meeting on badge work, games, crafts, or maybe outdoor fun? Are you going to be planning camping trips, community service, or field trips? I personally recommend having some sort of opening where you say the Spiral Scouts oath. I personally recommend some sort of opening, some sort of badge work that maybe includes a craft, and some sort of game, especially if you have younger children. With the older kids, a lot of them are happy just to do the badge work on topics that they're interested in. And I would recommend also some sort of uniform. Now would also be a good time to look at a calendar and plan for the next 3 months. Are there any holidays or special occasions on or near your meeting date? And do you want to do something special for them? Is there a particular badge you want to dedicate the next couple meetings to? Or is it going to take you 1 meeting to do that badge? This is going to depend on your age group. You're going to have to decide how dedicated your group is to badge work. I would say on average, a lot of groups earn 4 to 5 badges per year, but maybe you're interested in doing more. Maybe you're that active group where everybody wants to do things and the scouts do some things on their own. I've seen groups that earn even more. Hearths sometimes will earn nearly all of them over the course of 3 years, which my own Hearth, we use this as part of our homeschool curriculum. So my daughter earns tons of badges every year because every day we do an activity. Come up with your expectations for what this looks like as well. I know I didn't have that on there, but that's important too. Uniforms often come up at this point too. We do not currently sell a uniform, but currently our suggestions for a formal uniform consist of tan cargo pants and a forest green Oxford or polo shirt, or even a t-shirt at this point with your charter name and number on it. Activity uniforms can simply be jeans and shorts with this, like I mentioned, a forest green t-shirt with your charter name on it, or the Spiral Scouts International logo on it. Occasionally we do t-shirt fundraisers where part of the proceeds, so even though you're buying a shirt, your charter would get some funds back for that. Or if you don't want to do that, you can also print the logo on iron-on or transfer paper and iron it onto t-shirts. Make it a craft project. Many of our circles purchase their activity uniforms secondhand since they get dirty, paint splashed, etc. And as you progress, you may find that a uniform exchange program within your group will work. Older Scouts outgrow, especially if you're a larger charter with lots of kids of varying ages, older kids outgrow their shirts and they can be passed down to younger kids or traded. So with that, in the next video, we're going to start talking about our support roles, circle organizations, and some meeting basics, including our Scout to adult ratios. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and if you have any questions, check the PC handbook. It has my personal number in it, as well as the membership email, which is membership@spiralscouts.org. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. The best way to reach me is generally text. And if we need to set up a time to meet, I am always happy to do that. Let me know what times and days work for you, and we'll figure it out. Until next time, have a great day.